All right. Welcome back, guys. This is day 3. Can I just get a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me, see me, A-OK? Umar, Ian, Tian, Stefan. Boom. There we go. All right. Guys, I'm excited for this one. Obviously, we left off yesterday on a high. Now today, I'm going to show you something that completely changed the game for me and my clients. But before I do that, I have a very unconventional question for you guys, okay? Now, I get 300 million views a month on short form. I genuinely believe we're the #1 short form experts in the world. And by the way, these are our own accounts. These aren't some funny affiliates. These aren't some like weird accounts that we have no control over. These are our own accounts. We own these accounts, okay? 300 million views a month on short form. Now, question for you. How many of you guys want to get those numbers too? Comment me in the chat if you also want 300 million views a month on short form. Me. So a couple no's. That's interesting. Me? No? Okay. Why not? Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. Let me tell you why this is a huge mistake. Okay, I'm going to show you something that will change the way you think about this forever. You see, when you have a headache, what do? You search for a solution, right? Maybe that's a painkiller, a cold compress. Now, what if you don't know the solution? Where do you actually go to find out? Do you go to Facebook? I mean, not really. Do you go to Instagram? Do you open Instagram and just start scrolling into the solution? The solution to your problem magically shows up? Not really. Okay? What you do is you either search for it on Google or YouTube. When someone searches on YouTube, they are looking for a solution to a specific problem. And here's what most people don't realize. YouTube isn't just a video platform. It's the second biggest search engine in the world. You see, when someone sees your ad on Facebook, what are they doing in that moment? They're probably trying to see what their friends are up to. They're looking at cat videos. Or they're just killing time. But when someone searches how to scale my agency, or how to insert whatever your specific problem is, or whatever your specific domain is on YouTube, well, that's a buyer. That's someone who is actively looking for a solution. People only buy your product as a result of a pain point that they are trying to solve. If you have no customer problem, you have no sale. There's no sale without a customer with a problem. So let's talk about the difference between social media and YouTube. Most of social media is just scrolling, killing time, algorithm-driven entertainment. Whereas YouTube, people are searching. They're trying to solve problems, okay? They have intent, and they want to be educated. And this is why most people play the content game completely wrong. Once again, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I could sit here and I could say, we get 300 million views a month, and look at us, we're so successful, and we're going to teach you all this stuff, but I just don't want to bullshit you. I'm curious, just type a yes in the chat if you appreciate the fact that, even though we succeed with certain stuff, I'm like, hey, it's not really worth it. Do you guys appreciate the fact that I'm not bullshitting you for once? I'm sure you guys see these people, and they're like, these are our results, and just try to, show off all the things that they succeed at without actually peeling behind the curtains and showing you, okay, well, we succeeded, but it didn't actually bring us the intended result. And then people do a monkey see, monkey do, and they just try to create entertaining content and go viral. The result? Maybe they go viral, but they don't see behind the scenes. What you guys are getting here is an intimate view of someone who's done all this stuff and still does it to an extent if it fulfills certain business goals, but can tell you what works and what doesn't work. Because I live and breathe this to this day, okay? 99% of the time, they fail miserably at monetizing their content. Why? Because they are attracting millions of people who don't have a particular problem to solve. It's funny. There are a lot of people who think that most of my money I make comes with content from my short-form accounts. A lot of people think that. I mean, I get it. I get 300 million views every single month between my accounts. I mean, that sounds incredible, right? Or so we thought. Now, I had some people asking, why do you launch Digital Launchpad, that low-ticket MR thing? We had this idea, or we had this hypothesis, I should say. Let's launch a low-ticket offer, and we're going to make millions and millions of dollars a month from our low-ticket MR. that was our hypothesis, okay? Now let me tell you the result. And how easily I could sit up here and bullshit you guys and say that, look at us, we're so successful, we get all these views and make all this money. I'd like to be honest with you guys, okay? We made $30,000 that month. 300 million views a month. I think we have 7 million followers between our accounts. We made $30,000 when we promoted. It's insane. I feel like kind of naked standing up here. But as I said, I just want to be the person that doesn't bullshit you guys and tells you genuinely what's working, what's not working. Now you might be wondering, why? These viewers were coming from casual scrolling, and they're not serious buyers, okay? Now, this is why I'm telling you this. If you compare that to my business channel, I started that business channel 4 or 5 months ago. You know, I launched it brand new. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't cross-pollinate, cross-promote, nothing like that. I just started totally fresh, okay? And with 5,000 subscribers, we were already making $500,000 a month in profit. Yes, profit. None of this whole bullshit revenue, blah, 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 future revenue, accounts receivable stuff, okay? Like actual hardcore profit. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, that's impossible with 5,000 subscribers. Or, oh, you already had all your subscribers on the main channel. But you see, once you see how we set things up to leverage a personal brand and offload the daily grind, you're going to realize that it's not luck or magic. It is a simple strategy that frees you from operations and positions you where your customers want to see you. Now, more on that in a minute. But most importantly, do you know the difference between these two scenarios? Short form, you're actually creating traffic. Whereas my new channel, I'm just targeting existing buying traffic. You know, I'm just positioning myself where the existing buyers already are, okay? And as I said, short form content focuses on creating traffic. Whereas the new channel is just targeted towards existing buyer traffic. People who are actively already looking for a solution to a problem that they were experiencing. Okay, and this really all goes back to what we discussed in day one. You don't need to create traffic. You just need to position your videos where the traffic already is. And this is exactly what I want to show you how to do today. This way, you don't have to get millions of views to make millions with your content. Now, if you do get millions of views, I mean, great if they're the right views. That's not really our objective here, okay? Our objective is to put millions and millions and millions of dollars a year in your pocket. Oh, by the way, there's something interesting I forgot to mention. You know DL that did $30,000 when we actually promoted between our 7 million short form accounts? You know, 7 million followers between all of our short form accounts. You know that very same offer? We took that same offer to $500,000 a month in just 45 days. How do we do it? You guessed it. We use the flywheel VSL. The channel's existing buyer traffic from YouTube straight to your offer. So the reason I say this is because I'm not telling you to do low ticket MR. I've already said I'm really not a fan of that. I don't recommend it. I don't think it's the smart way to do things. You know, let us fuck up and make the mistakes and then tell you guys what works and what doesn't work. The reason I say this is to show that no matter what you're selling, I know this flywheel VSL system works because I've used it for multiple different offers, okay? That VSL has now generated millions in revenue for me. So yesterday I taught you how to structure this flywheel VSL to channel traffic from recommendations, but remember, for that to work, you need to first channel traffic from search to build a base of videos that will then fuel your flywheel content system. Now this is, the reason I mention this, I said, is really just to prove that this system works to sell anything. Whether that's a $37 a month low ticket subscription, to mid ticket, to high ticket, whatever it is. But as I've told you guys, low ticket MR, stay away from it. Please, it's just the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and I've made my vast majority of money from mid ticket and high ticket. Now, those are the videos that will start bringing you sales from day one, okay? These feeder videos is what's actually gonna drive your content. Going back to that analogy, you know how I was saying yesterday, like you tap, 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 tap? So we're trying to find these veins, but you're making money while you're tapping. Like you're testing, okay? You're testing, you're making money, you're testing, you're making money. And then you find that vein, that once you find it, okay, you drill straight down. Listen, you're not gonna find that winning vein of gold, that winning vein of oil from day one. So that's why you need these feeder videos to understand the market, understand what works, what doesn't. And then later, these feeder videos then all flow up to your flywheel VSL, okay? So as I said, that way you don't need to wait until you have 15, 20, 30 videos to start monetizing your content. Now later on, they're gonna be the videos that feed your flywheel VSL once you add it on top of the system to make your growth exponential. So today I'm gonna show you how to actually take this first step. Now I want you guys to drop a 1 in the chat if you're starting to see the difference between creating traffic and channeling traffic, because those are two very different things. And I think it's important you guys understand the difference. Amazing. Remember, we want this to be elegant, okay? We want to run our business elegantly with grace. So I don't want to create traffic. I just want to channel the traffic, okay? Let's talk about the difference between normal videos and flywheel VSL. You see, normal videos create traffic, lots of random views, and make a few tens of thousands. Whereas when you focus on the flywheel VSL, it channels traffic with high quality viewers, and these aren't even viewers, these are buyers, and it makes tens of millions. That's really the difference between creating content and having an actual flywheel content system that attracts your ideal prospect. Now, before I actually tell you how to start creating your feeder videos, let me show you what not to do. What are the right and wrong topics to use for your content? Day in the life, motivation, general tips, entertainment, if I was broke. Guys, for those of you guys who are selling something for like $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, why are you making this video? Like I see this sometimes, like millionaire habits, if I want to become a millionaire, or if I was broke. It's like, okay, well, do you want broke buyers? Then don't make videos like that. Now, unless you have something that's like a $37 a month MR, which as I said, I don't recommend, or you have something that is a mass market B2C offer, then maybe consider it, but you really are swimming upstream here. Whereas if you instead make how-to specific problem videos, step-by-step guides, business solutions, real solutions, how I made X in X industry, those are the sort of videos you want to make. You know, that's going to attract real buyers, not just viewers. Now, here's what's crazy. I see this mistake all the time. People make videos like, if I was broke and had to start over, or a day in the life of a millionaire, like just generally day in the life of a millionaire. Now, once again, I want to always make it clear. I have videos like day in the life of a millionaire on my vlog channel. But on my vlog channel, people are buying something for $95, or they're buying a $3 consumable drink. You know, they're not buying, these aren't info. My vlog channel is there for my other business ventures. It's not there for my info business, okay? So people will start making videos like, if I was broke and had to start over, or day in the life of a millionaire, when they're trying to sell a $20,000 coaching offer. How does that make sense? These topics attract an audience of people who are strapped for cash and looking for solutions, okay? Looking for cheap solutions to their problems. This is exactly the opposite demographic you want if you are aiming to enroll clients at a high ticket price. It is a total mismatch in messaging. And that's why so many coaches struggle to land the right buyers. Now, here's how you're going to go about creating your first piece of content. The first thing you do is actually very simple, okay? You are going to list out all the problems your ideal customer has and the questions they ask about said problems, okay? Let me give you some examples that I used to grow my main YouTube channel that was focused specifically on beginners and a B2C audience. Most of my customers usually ask the questions surrounding, what's the best business to start? How do I make $10,000 a month as a beginner? What are the habits I need to actually be a millionaire? What are the best books I need to read to become successful? What's the best business to start in 2024 as a 2021-year-old, okay? What do I need to do to change my situation? Those are the sort of things that they're curious about at their career stage. You know, remember, I had a B2C offer. So these are the questions, and then I turn those questions into video ideas. So let's take a look at my most successful video. What is the best business to start? Well, funny you ask that, because I made a video about it. Best online business to start as a beginner 2024. My audience is thinking, well, how do I make $10,000 a month as a beginner? Don't you worry, my friend. I have a blueprint for it. And don't you worry, because at the end of this blueprint, I'm going to follow the exact same framework I talked about yesterday, And I don't even need to sell you on my solution. The way I frame it, you come to that conclusion already. Now, they might be wondering, what are the best habits I need to have in order to become a millionaire? Well, these are the 7 best habits that made me a multimillionaire by 21. Now, bear in mind, I actually haven't addressed this yet. Just so you guys understand how the feeder videos feed up to VSL. So like, for example, this is a feeder video. The previous ones are flywheel. Obviously, this was a flywheel VSL. And some of the other ones are flywheel VSLs. But these feeder videos, this is a question that people have about, how to make money. Now, 2 or 3 minutes into, these said videos, I'll say, hey, listen, you can have the best habits in the world, okay? So now you have the best habits in the world. You have the 7 habits that made me a multimillionaire. But now you're wondering, what do I do with all these incredible new habits, with this new discipline, with this new focus, everything? Well, fun you asked that. I actually made a video breaking down all the best business models, studying them step by step, and breaking down which one makes the most sense for you using a scientific equation and a scientific formula. I'm going to go ahead and leave that as a link in the description. Once you're done watching this video, then go check that out. Okay, so that's how your feeder videos then actually link up to the main flywheel VSL. Some other questions. What are the best books I need to read to become successful? Well, let me tell you 17 books that changed my life. What's the best business to start in 2024 as a 20-year-old? Well, don't you worry. I have a video for that. What do I need to do to change my situation? Well, don't worry. I'll show you how to take back control over your life using Monk Mode. Do you see how simple this is? I literally just took each question my audience has, and then I turned that into a video that answers it using the exact same wording that they use when they're asking the question. The issue is you guys just try to overcomplicate this shit way too much, okay? My most successful videos were the ones where I literally just answered my audience's most asked question. And most importantly, each one of those videos, as I said, they fed up to my flywheel VSL with millions of views, which then turned into millions of dollars in profit for me personally. Now, sometimes, as I said, you guys just overcomplicate things trying to find out the secret formula. Even worse, what you guys do is, you'll go to my vlog channel, and then you'll try to model what I'm doing there, which is day in the life of a millionaire in Dubai. And then you've got videos like that, and on the back end, the guy is selling AI automation for medical companies and charging $20,000. How many of the people do you think that are watching these kind of videos are actually equipped and have first of all, the interest and the financial resources to buy your AI automation offer? How does that even make sense? As I mentioned earlier, the only products I promote on my vlog channel is my eyewear brand and my consumable brand. That's it. So why are you trying to model what I'm using to sell my physical product businesses if you're selling coaching? When all you need to do is just answer your audience's most burning question. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, I know you guys love a formula. You guys want to figure out what's the secret recipe, what's the secret sauce behind what I do, and how I actually generate and come up with ideas for these videos that generate millions of dollars. So here's a very simple formula that you can use to start creating the right content. You go to your audience. You ask them what questions do they have about their main pain points. You get their top 10 pain points. You create 30 to 50 videos on those pain points. And that's it. Did you take notes? It's that simple. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. The first thing I think of when I hear someone telling me to create 3, 5, 10 videos on the main point is, oh, but isn't that going to get repetitive? I know you guys are worried about that. You're like, okay, but if I keep making videos on the same topic, isn't that repetitive? Well, let me show you my best performing videos when it comes to profit. These are the ones that put the most money in my pocket. I'm talking about not millions, tens of millions of dollars in my pocket, okay? We're talking about pure profit here. These are it. I'll leave them on screen for you. Now, do you see anything in common between all these by any chance? Does it look like I had to go through 20 different eureka moments to come up with all these different titles? Or does it feel like it's just me asking myself, what is the slight variation? What's the closest angle that I could approach this with without it being an exact replica or exact copy, but still close enough? And now I ask you, does it matter if it's repetitive? Let me go back to the example of gold mining, okay? Imagine you're back in the gold rush and you spend your entire adulthood looking for gold. And after months, maybe even years of searching different locations, you find one tiny speck of gold. You finally strike it rich, okay? You finally find this one vein in this one particular hill. My question to you is, would you dig one small hole, take a little handful of gold, and then say, I don't want to be repetitive. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. So maybe I've extracted a little bit of gold here. Should I go look at a completely different hill now? Or maybe, would you set up camp and mine that same spot until you have extracted every ounce of gold that it has to offer? What would you do? Would you keep digging, or would you abandon it? You tell me. Dig or abandon? Keep digging. You'd mine. Of course you would. You found the gold. Why would you ever leave? My point exactly. Now, you might dig different tunnels or start using different techniques, but you're still going to stay at the same profitable location. And that's exactly what you have to do with successful video topics. You see, each slightly different angle on best business model to start or habits that will make you a millionaire is like another tunnel in the same gold-rich hill. And it's just like mining. Finding one gold vein often leads to discovering connected veins nearby. You see, YouTube's recommendation system naturally connects your similar videos, creating an even larger payoff from your initial discovery. Now, with those first 15, 20, 30 videos you upload to your channel, all you're doing is just looking for these gold veins. Now, what you need to understand is that when you find a topic that works, mine it. Keep digging. And then create a bunch of videos, because it's not going to be a once-off. All of these videos are going to perform. And by the way, even better, what happens when someone watches one of those videos? The next video they get recommended is your most similar video on that topic. And this is literally the best way to feed your flywheel content system. You are mind fielding a successful topic, and if it works, make sure you make the most out of it. Now, here's another great example. I discovered that figuring out the habits to become a millionaire was one of the biggest burning desires for my audience. It was a huge pain point for them. So then, look at these videos. These are all top performing videos for my channel. Do you think I was worried about being repetitive? Do you think once I found the gold, I'm like, I know there's gold here, but I don't want to be a one-trick pony. Don't want to sound too repetitive. No, I mind it. Once you find these gold veins, you can start making money right away. And that's actually what you should do, by the way, when you first start, okay? I want to really hammer this point home. When you're first getting started, you should mine this gold, okay? Now, how do you do that? How do you start making money right away from your first video? You actually do put a link in the description. Listen, you're all a very smart and you're all a very intelligent audience. As I said, I've looked at every single survey, every single opt-in. All of you guys' client profiles. You're a smart audience. You understand that sometimes you do one thing at the beginning, and then once you reach a certain stage, then you change the approach. So when we first start, okay, we put a link in the description, okay, to your sales page, your webinar, whatever your conversion asset you have right now. Now remember, I told you yesterday, you need to know the rules so that way you know when to break them, okay? This is when you actually break it. As I said yesterday, having links in the description is not the most efficient way of doing things. But it's totally fine to start there, okay, to start making money from your content while you're testing. Remember, this, what we're doing right here is the testing phase. You're not yet onto the scaling phase. So just like with ad campaigns, you're going to have a ton of audiences and ads that don't work at first. That's fine, because you go through the testing period, and once you found the testing period, once you found the winning ads, the winning angle, whatever it is, then you ramp up and you scale and you optimize, okay? And that's what we do once we have our flywheel VSL. If you don't have it yet, that's totally fine. Okay, you can put links in your description to start making money. By the way, on our business channel, we don't have our flywheel VSL. We're still, it's only been 3-4 months. We're going through this very same process ourselves. We're finding out exactly what does our ideal client care about. And we're tapping, and we're seeing between each videos. Now, we're still making a metric fuck ton of money between these videos, all right? We're still making well over $500,000 a month profit from that channel. But as we're doing all this stuff, we're seeing, okay, what do people resonate with? What do people like the most, et cetera, et cetera. And then we turn that into a flywheel VSL, okay? Just like in the gym, you won't have the perfect form at first, but you need to go through that period where you're not doing things the most optimal way to then get to your final form. Now, you don't have to wait until you have 30 videos to then create a flywheel VSL and then only start monetizing. I said you can start monetizing from day one. Once you find a gold vein, start mining it right away. Now, as the smart prospector that you are, when you start to find multiple gold veins, what do? Well, you see, the smart prospector builds a central processing facility, a main shaft that connects all of these veins. Every cart of gold from each vein gets transported through this main shaft, which becomes the heart of your entire mining operation. The more veins that you discover and mine, the more valuable this central shaft becomes, and the more efficient your entire operation becomes. And this is exactly what your flywheel VSL is. It's the central processing facility for all the audience of gold that you're mining from your various different topic veins, okay? Each successful video topic you create is like another productive vein that feeds more viewers into your main flywheel VSL. And just like in mining, where the central shaft gives you the highest return on investment for each ounce of gold processed, your flywheel VSL converts that audience into maximum profit. So not only should you mine each successful topic thoroughly, but you should always build pathways from those veins back to your central processing system. Now, your high converting VSL, your high converting flywheel VSL, that turns all that audience gold into real money. So just like when you're mining for gold, as I said, you're looking for these gold veins, and once you find multiple of them, you connect them through a central processing facility, and that turns that gold into profit. So all we're doing with the flywheel content system is finding all these gold vein topics, and then we're all funneling them through into our flywheel VSL. So to sum it up, this is really all you need to get started. You are going to start by channeling traffic from search. And you do this by creating 20 to 30 videos on your prospect's main pain points. Now, this is usually where people get stuck. I know that a lot of people get stuck here because they don't know how to cover the same pain point from multiple different angles. So here's a quick tip, okay? For each pain point, you're going to create a solution-oriented videos, or a set of solution-oriented videos, and a set of problem-oriented videos. These are two different ways to approach the topic, okay? So let's say hair loss postpartum. Okay, let's say your pain point is helping people deal with hair loss postpartum. Here's what you do. You create two videos like this, solution-oriented videos. 5 steps to prevent hair loss postpartum. Preventing hair loss postpartum is easy. Here's how. This is solution-oriented. And then you create 2 others like this that are problem-oriented. Watch this if you're struggling with hair loss after giving birth. Hair loss after giving birth, question mark, this hormone could be the cause. Voila. This is a topic I know absolutely fuck all about. Here I am, stood on stage, talking to you guys about hair loss. I know nothing about this, but what I do know is how to frame videos in the right way, okay? And just like that, congratulations. You have 4 different angles for a single pain point. And we can replicate this again and again and again and again and again and again. And you can keep drilling this down forever. And that is how you create unlimited content on the same topic. And after you start creating content like that, you will inevitably start getting viewers. But how do you know if you've struck gold? How do you actually judge which topics have a high monetization potential and which ones do not? Because it's not as simple as seeing gold nuggets in the dirt, is it? Well, actually it is. And see, here's what most people don't understand about content. Most creators assume that more views means more money, but that's not how it works. Let me show you why with a very real example. I'm giving you guys like insights into my business that I've never shared publicly. This is like, this is stuff like I haven't shared anywhere before. Now, a couple of years ago, we ran a promotion on YouTube that generated just shy of $2 million in sales. Fast forward a bit, we ran a very similar promotion. Same product, same price point, very similar pitch, and pulled in 5 times more views. Guys, 5 times more views. Same product, same pitch, same everything. Guess what happened? We got 5 times more views. What do you think happened? Well, 5x more sales. Some people are guessing less money. 5 times less return. Interesting. 5 times more views, 5 times less return. You doubled sales. Okay. Interesting. Well, you would think that we made 5 times more revenue, right? Same pitch, same product, same promotion, same section of viewers. Wrong. We still made just shy of $2 million that week. Why? Playback-based CPM. You see, there's a little-known YouTube metric called playback-based CPM. Most people don't actually focus on this stuff. And it's what's known as cost per mil. It measures how much advertisers are willing to place ads on your video, which basically signals the monetization potential of your audience. It basically means how monetizable your audience is, okay? CPM, playback-based CPM. Now, in our first promotion, our CPM was $52. On the second promotion, it was $11, 5x lower. So our CPM was 5x lower. So sure enough, when we pitched our product to that second audience, we converted 5 times lower. The CPM was basically spot on as a predictor of how much money we were going to make. So this is the sort of qualitative, there's quantitative and then there's qualitative data. This is a sort of qualitative data that most people don't look at. So the CPM was totally spot on, which really leads me to my main key takeaway here, which is it's not about how many people see your content, it's about how many of the right people watch it. Most people don't realize, but that is a huge, huge difference, okay? It's super funny. We test a lot on our channels, as you can tell. And sometimes we get videos with millions of views that get terrible CPMs. So we know those videos are the ones that we don't want to create more of. We want to stay away from those videos. But then what's funny is, like I said, it's a bit unfortunate. Like, you guys are so lucky that you're here. And it's so, you guys are, in fact, I don't even want to call you guys lucky. I want to, first of all, commend you guys for being here in the first place, because the issue is you've got all these people that are looking at what we do, okay? Looking at what we do and just trying to copy us. Not understanding that a lot of times we're running tests real time. We're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And then a lot of times we have failed tests. Like, for example, we have videos that get millions of views and people are just trying to copy it one for one, not realizing, we're like, fuck, that was a failed experiment. We should stay away from that. Don't do that again. So it's really cool that you guys are here today, because you guys are learning from, humbly, one of, if not the best in this info space at the moment. And when we run these tests, a lot of times, we're just seeing what works and what doesn't, okay? And we ran these tests where we get millions of views but terrible CPMs. And we know that that's not an audience that we want to monetize. Now, maybe some of you guys want to become super famous. That's actually was never really my goal. I'm just looking to help the growth of my businesses. And if if I'm doing this to help the growth of my businesses, I've got to focus on attracting buyers and not viewers. So as I said, people see what we do, and they don't realize that that was a failed experiment. They just see the views. They just see quantitative, okay? They just see the quantity of views. They don't know the quality of a viewer. So going viral on bad audiences is not a smart idea, okay? Going viral on wrong audiences, not what you want. It's one of the worst things that can happen to your channel, is for it to start going viral in the wrong direction. Because then the algorithm will also start recommending your content to that type of people. And once that damage is done, it's very, very, very hard to reverse, okay? It's like steering a cruise ship that's heading to a nearby iceberg at night. When you see the problem, a lot of times it's too late to change course. So please be careful with what you try with this model. Remember, I said, I don't think these are bad people at all. These are not bad people. They don't have ill intention. But when you go to these viral experts, these social media, these growth experts, they don't have the understanding of, like, qualitative versus quantitative. Okay, they just look at it like, I got you more viewers, I got you more eyeballs. Okay, cool. Did you get me more customers? Because they're not the same thing. So what you want instead is you want high CPM plus high watch time, and that means you have an ideal audience. High CPM means you are attracting viewers with high buying power. High watch time means that they're engaged. And that means they are far more likely to convert. So if you see a video with a lot of watch time and way higher than average CPMs, now a lot of people don't look at CPMs because you actually have to click into analytics. It's not one of the key, like 4 or 5 KPIs they show whenever you're uploading a video. So you have to click into it. But when you see a video that has high watch time, high CPM, my friend, you have struck literal gold. For example, how did I know that the beginner business was a more profitable topic for my VSL compared to framing it around millionaire habits? I just looked at the CPMs, okay? These are the millionaire habits CPMs. $16 for 7 habits that made me a millionaire by 21, 3 habits that made me a millionaire by 18. By the way, guys, like, trust me, I practice what I preach here. Like, you guys are so worried about making the same repetitive video, blah, blah. Like, guys, I will do the same video again and again and again and again because I understand that if it interested one, or if it interested my audience once, it'll interest them again. And also, you guys are thinking people watch every single one of your videos. No, a lot of people will watch one, maybe skip 2 or 3, then watch another. That's the way it goes, okay? So millionaire habits, this is the CPM it was getting. On the other hand, this is what the CPMs the best online business was getting. $53 CPM, $39 CPM. So what do you think is the obvious answer how I should frame my content and my flywheel VSL? You guys drop in the chat. What do you think the obvious answer is? Business. Of course. You can see it. The CPM is telling you. The CPM is literally telling you the quality and the buying potential of the audience. It gives us this information. Now, do you see how this trend keeps repeating itself over and over? The answer is always the same. Do the simple thing. You guys literally have the most simple business model there is in the world today. It is so easy. It is so simple to make millions with this. And then what you do, it's very unfortunate. And it's I honestly, I don't think it's your fault. I just think everyone in the space just keeps overcomplicating it and keeps leading you guys astray. What happens then is then you take this, you take the best parts of this business model and you remove it, which is the simplicity and the elegance of this business model. So, my question to you is why do you have the tendency to overcomplicate everything? You create this super complex, on-demand, evergreen webinar with a capture page, confirmation page, waiting room, live page, replay, email sequence, 3 videos for the follow-up, then book a call, and then appointment setter, 2 call close. You take deposit, but then you have to send invoice, but then a split pay and a follow-up to follow up with the split pay, and then you have this bloated sales team to handle all of this ineffective operation and spend all your time fixing everything that keeps breaking along the way. Guys, it gives me a fucking nightmare. I'm just going to say how it is. Like, this gives me a headache. Why? Why? Tell me, please. Why do we need all this? It's a headache. It's a nightmare. Who wants to run their business like this? There has to be a better way. Surely. There has to. There is. I record 3 videos per month, and I send people to an order form. And that's it. And then people put in their credit card. I don't talk to anyone. Pay in full without me spending a single minute on the entire process. Now do you see why I make so much more than everyone else in actual net profit? Next time someone in the info space tells you how much money they make, ask them, what's your profit? Don't tell me about your revenue. Your revenue is irrelevant. And I need you guys to understand, by the way, get this through your head. Profit is the only thing that matters in this industry. It's the KPI we're optimizing for. You're not going to sell your info business. That's the truth of it. You're not going to sell your info business. As someone who actually buys companies, I can tell you, you're not going to buy your info business. I would not touch an info business from a mile away. In fact, I've actually bought a couple, but I guess that's a story for another day. That was for more trophy reasons. Now listen, I don't do this because I'm a genius. I haven't achieved these results because I'm a genius. It's just because I don't overcomplicate this shit trying to make myself look smart or sophisticated. I do what's practical. And I make millions doing it. I told you, elegance. I want to do this elegantly. I want to do this with grace. And by the way, if you do want to have access to all these systems I use to make well over 8 figures a year of profit from my info product every single year for the past 4 years, without having to touch single ops or admin tasks, and just spend a few hours a week recording videos, that's exactly what I'm breaking down here today. And just so you know, earlier today, on our VIP call, I actually made an offer to VIPs to get access to my personal vault with all these systems, so that way you can literally just legally steal my business. Just steal it. and we've had a ton of people join already. Now, I'm going to address that at the end of tomorrow's session. I don't want to talk about that or mention it again today. I'm going to give you the opportunity to apply tomorrow. But all I can say is make sure you do not miss out, because I've thrown something in there that is insane. I had to fight with my team day and night. They were like, how are you giving them something that we're actually selling for 25 grand? What is wrong with you? So I want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on it. But anyways, we'll come back to that later, okay? As I said at the beginning of the challenge, you're smart enough to figure out whether this is for you or not. And with that being said, let's keep going. Now remember I told you I left something out yesterday. Something responsible for 80% of the results of your content. Now before I tell you what that is, I want to tell you about two restaurants I know. They're located on the same street, just a few doors apart from each other. Both have equally talented chefs who both create delicious food. Now, the first restaurant, it has incredible food. But from the outside, it looks like any other building on the block. The sign is small and kind of faded. The windows are tinted, so you can't really see inside. And there's no menu display outside. I mean, nothing about it, when you look at it, nothing about it says, there's amazing food in there. It's one of those, like, if you know places, which is great for them, not really great in terms of running a profitable venture. Now, a second restaurant, just a few doors down, has the same quality food, but it's housed in this beautifully designed building with large windows, so that way everyone can walk past and see all the happy diners inside. There's an enticing food menu displayed out front with professional food photography. The entrance has a red carpet and a friendly host greeting people. And the smell of their signature dishes wafts onto the sidewalk. You can smell it from about 50 meters away. Which restaurant do you think is packed every night? Which one has a line outside the door? I mean, come on, it's quite obvious, right? We make this mistake almost every single time with our content, though. Here's the truth. You would never, ever even step foot inside the first restaurant to discover how amazing the food is. Why? Packaging. Everything that gets you through the door matters more than what's inside. And that's exactly how YouTube works. It breaks my heart. I know that so many of you, I'm actually curious. For those of you guys who are creating content, like, don't worry, I'm not going to judge you. I want you to, like, puff up your chest a bit and flex a little. Type a yes if you think your content doesn't get the amount of views or the amount of traction you think it deserves. Yeah. Yes. Doesn't that piss you off? That pissed me off. So I did something about it. It should piss you off. That you have content so much better. You have knowledge. You have expertise. You have experience so much better than all your competition. Yet your competition is making more money than you. Why? Packaging. Your content is the meal. But your packaging, the thumbnail and the title is everything that determines whether or not someone is ever even going to click to experience that content in the first place. What you need to understand is that the content of your videos needs to be good. That's a given, of course. Keep the quality of your content high. However, only having good content is not enough. Content is the 20%, packaging is the 80%. As I said, the content is only responsible for 20% of your results here. 80% is the packaging. If you have great content and mediocre packaging, you have mediocre results. If you have okay content and great packaging, you have big success and great results. It's annoying, all right? It's the way it works. I said, a lot of you guys have already just told me you're pissed off about it, but I'm good. You should be pissed off about it. It's good that you're annoyed. It's good that you acknowledge that my content deserves to be seen by far more people, and in the process, as we talked about yesterday, we understand that passive attention is just as good as passive income. You know that in the process, you should be making far more money because of it, okay? If you have the best content in your industry, but your video packaging is mediocre, you're gonna get mediocre results at best. On the other hand, it's unfortunate, but if you have okay content and great packaging, you're in for a lot of success. But what if, imagine you had both, okay? And this is really crucial because I've experienced this myself. Like, I had that same, like, fire in my belly where I was like, I mean, listen, we got Tristan over there. And I said, Tristan and I, like, for a long time, I guess I just didn't care about it. Like, Tristan and I would just, like I used to be like you guys. You know, I used to be like you guys, and we used to just, like, I was like, all that matters is great content. Like, I used to tell Tristan now, I'm like, bro, don't worry about it. Like, the video is so good. Don't worry, the views will come. Yeah, the views never came. because we never focused on the packaging. We would just decide on the day, on the minute, 5 minutes before we were going to put the video up, we would fling up a thumbnail. I didn't even know what I was going to title it, okay? And that shows, by the way. Before cracking the code with my flywheel VSL, all of my previous VSLs had very similar content, okay? So they had the same content to the one that actually cracked 9.6 million views and, more importantly, $20 million in my pocket. You know, they all talked about the same things: how to get clients, how to fulfill your services using contractor arbitrage, how to choose a service, and so on. However, the way that I packaged it was totally wrong. You know, I didn't have that fire in my belly. And then one day I woke up, I was like, you know, fuck this. I'm done. I'm done having amazing content, knowing that I deserve to have a bigger platform and a bigger stage, like all of you guys deserve. You guys deserve to have that in your life. But it's just the packaging. You see, I would always package it as how to start a social media marketing agency in 2022 or how to start an estimate as a beginner. But that wasn't the central pain point of my industry. It was only when I changed the framing to best online business model to start as a beginner that things really popped off for me. Even though on both of them, I was talking about the same thing here, which is how to start a social media marketing agency. I used to think that the only thing that mattered was creating high quality content. And that's why it took me so long to achieve success on YouTube. Because I've been on YouTube for 10 years now, okay? 26th of December, 2015, Boxing Day, 2015, when I uploaded my first video. So I'm actually coming up to my 10th year now, okay? It took me a while to figure this stuff out. Now, there's people who are figuring this out within 6 months and are already making millions from YouTube. By the way, that's you guys. When you guys implement all this stuff, you will escape years and years of mediocre results like I had, because you're doing things the right way. Listen, my kind of like breakthrough moment was when I watched that video I mentioned yesterday. And when I saw that and I saw what actually happened, it was like I just couldn't unsee it. Okay, once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Okay, what this guy did was he had one of the biggest science channels on YouTube, and he had this video throwing a basketball off of a dam. He originally titled it "Strange Applications of the Magnus Effect," okay, as you can see, which obviously a total of approximately 0 people were interested in. Then someone else went in there, downloaded the video, and re-uploaded the exact same video under the title "Basketball Dropped from Dam" with a thumbnail showing the moment it was about to drop. By the way, I'm actually curious. You can also type in a yes or a no. Have you ever had someone, and you know they've looked at your content, they've taken what you've said, and then they've just packaged it better, and then now all of a sudden they're making so much more money, getting more eyeballs, getting more qualified buyers, and yes, bro. I remember the first time that happened to me, I was so nervous. I was like, I know what happened here. You just watched my shit, took my shit, repackaged it, and taken my customers. It's annoying. And that's what happened here. It's a perfect example of it. What happened was his video on the channel got 1,000 views, whereas the exact same video re-uploaded with new packaging, 9.5 million in a week. And when I found out about that, something just flipped. I couldn't unsee it. You see, before my approach to creating content was, what is the most valuable, the best, and the most valuable content that I can record today? Then I would record that video, and when it came time to upload, I would title it, basically just describing what the video was. I would slap a thumbnail on it with my team that we would create in 5 minutes. You know what's so funny? What do we used to call it, the least profitable department in the company? Like, we used to joke, like my content department, we used to call it the least profitable department in the company. Like, it was a running joke for years. And then, after that, my approach changed. I asked myself, what is our audience interested in? And then, I would create the packaging of the potential videos to only record based on that. And with a simple change in this approach, results start to fly in almost instantly. I went from struggling to monetize my channel and growing 10% year over year. You know, I heard some of you guys say, oh, but whatever, you had 200,000 subscribers at the time. Yeah, okay, sure, but like, guys, come on, I started in 2015, like right at the end of 2015. Like, 7 years to get that was a fucking grind. Like, it was a long process. And by the way, I experimented. A lot of that stuff actually came from ads. I tested, you know, this is why I can speak on a lot of this stuff. I actually tested running ads to the YouTube channel, and that destroyed things for a long time. Yeah, that was rough. You know, I tested with unmonetizing my video. Like, there was a lot of pain in those 7 years, okay? I was struggling. 10% we would grow year on year. 12 months later, we were making well over 8 figures a year in profit from that same YouTube channel. Packaging. Packaging became essential. And this principle of packaging became such a pivotal pillar of my content system that I actually created an entire department for it inside my info product company. You see, for every single new video we publish, we have from 15 to 30 options of thumbnails to choose from. I mean, take a look. Each one of our designers will submit 5 or sometimes even up to 10 thumbnail options. And the one that gets chosen actually gets a bounty. They get an extra bonus. Okay? This way, they're incentivized to create as many thumbnails as they want. And they have a lot of, and in the process, we have a lot of thumbnails to choose from. Now, we usually spend about 20 to 30 minutes carefully selecting which thumbnails we're going to use or test, because we know that this is literally the most important step of the entire process. I mean, just think about it. If packaging accounts for 80% of a video's results, and you have 30 options to choose from, okay, that's our reality. We have 30 options to choose from. When you guys have 1 or 2, how much more likely is it that my videos are going to perform well compared to yours? Imagine, I know I'm using a lot of fishing analogies this time. I actually went fishing, I think maybe for tomorrow's presentation I'll put it up on screen. I went fishing properly for the first time like a few months ago. I took the team to Maldives, and yeah, caught a sailfish. So I've gotten the bug ever since then. So apologies with all the analogies, the fishing analogies. But imagine we're both professional fishermen, right? And we're competing to catch the most fish in the same lake. Now you arrive with your 1 or 2 cute little fishing lures that you made yourself, and they're decent and maybe they might catch some fish. But I show up with a tackle box containing 30 different lures, each one carefully crafted by professional lure makers who specialize in attracting different types of fish. These experts also get a bonus whenever their specific lure catches the most fish. So they're constantly refining and improving their designs. Now, before I even cast my first line, I spent 30 minutes studying the water conditions, observing the fish's behavior, and selecting the perfect lure from my collection of 30 options. Well, listen, if bait is 80% responsible for catching fish, and I have 30 expertly crafted lures compared to your measly 1 or 2, who do you think goes home with more fish at the end of the day? Quite frankly, thumbnails work exactly the same way. The thumbnail is the bait that determines whether viewers will bite. So when you have 30 professionally designed options competing against someone with just a couple of rush designs, your videos will consistently outperform the competition. And it's not even a fair fight. We have an entire protocol when it comes to testing this. I mean, just in terms of titles, this is how many we come up with for a single video. I'll leave that on screen. And this is the process we go through. This is a revenue and business growth titles. Let's say we're making a video about strategic insights, okay? So this is the sort of content that we make for our business channel. What about business model innovation? There we go, some title ideas. What about advanced strategies? Some other title options. Now, when it comes to the testing protocol, we have an entire protocol to test as many of those thumbnails and titles as possible in the first 24 hours of publishing a video to make sure that we run with a combination of the highest CTR and we know that we are picking our winner, okay? Then we have a file where we track all these tests and change in VPH, basically views per hour, and CTR in excruciating detail so that way we know exactly real time the impact of each test and performance. And then I have an SOP for my team to send hourly updates on our Slack channel regarding how each video is performing. This is military grade shit, okay? This is an end-to-end system that essentially guarantees my videos will have the best odds of performing. By the way, this isn't only for new videos. Where it really starts to get interesting is for my older videos. Imagine you own a bookstore filled with amazing books that people will love them if they discovered it. The problem is, a lot of these books have been sitting with dust, okay? They've been sitting on your shelves for months, and they have bland, forgettable covers that people just walk right by. And then you discover something. Whenever you actually take one of those older books, you give it a new design, okay? You give it a new front cover, and then you move it to the front of the window display, customers suddenly notice it as if it was a brand new release. They pick it up, they buy it, they recommend it to friends. This way, you don't actually have to keep writing new books to keep your store thriving. Okay, by systematically giving your existing inventory fresh, eye-catching covers and prominent placement every few weeks, you can maintain consistent sales growth without getting a single new book for your store. That's exactly how rehashing packaging works for YouTube videos. You see, the content, which is the book, is already written and on the shelf. Okay, you've already made the content. You've already made the video. But by giving it a new cover, which is the thumbnail and title, YouTube actually puts it back on the storefront window for new potential viewers to discover. You see, videos that were once dead in the water can suddenly be revitalized, okay? They can suddenly become bestsellers, all without you having to create a single frame of a new video, okay? Without you having to pull out the camera, you can revive this stuff. And this is how I create a perpetual growth engine that continues adding millions of dollars in my pocket and subscribers to my channel, even when I only publish 3 videos in a 6-month period. It's exactly how I got videos like these to become one of the top performing videos on YouTube on a topic, even after a flatline in terms of views for 6 months. You can see there was a flatline period, and then boom, you see these like bump up, flatline, bump up, flatline, bump up, flat. This is rehashing. I didn't have to do shit for that. My team did it. We have a full end-to-end system for testing and tracking the results of those tests. At any given moment, we have 20 to 40 tests running simultaneously. Remember the hamster wheel we talk about on day 1? You know, that people are afraid to get stuck in the content hamster wheel. Well, most of them end up stuck exactly there because of how they chose to run a business that requires them to constantly be recording new ads, fixing broken stuff, recording new videos, new content, new blah, blah, all this stuff. This is how you get out of it. This is how you get out of that trap. By creating a system that keeps running and putting money in your pocket independent of your input. Do you know how much input I have in this entire process? Take a guess. Take a guess how much input I have in this entire process. 0. 3 hours, none, 0. A few hours, none. 1 hour a day, 2 hours. 0. Why would I? Why would I? I have high leverage tasks to do. I don't create the thumbnails. I don't write the titles. I don't need to select which videos to test. I don't need to run the test myself. I don't even need to tell my team to do any of this. The SOP is there. Okay, we have SOPs, we have systems for every single part of the business. I know, I'm talking about, one thing here, the content flywheel or the rehashing. Guys, these are singular points in my business. I have 50 to 100 of these. Okay, I could present here, do the same presentation. I could do this every single day for the next 100 days. Everything is fleshed out. Now, the best part is I don't have to do any of it. My team handles it all, okay? The SOP is there. They know what to do already. Most of the time, I don't even choose the thumbnails myself. The team just does it for me. That is what a real content system is. It's not about writing great scripts or publishing new videos every week. When you have a reliable system, you don't need any of that. And I've shown you the systems right here. You have no excuses not to go out there and start implementing this self. But what if you don't want to do all this yourself? As I mentioned, I talked about this earlier today during the VIP session, and I opened up the opportunity for them to apply to literally just steal my entire business, license all my own systems in their own business. And a ton of people have already joined. Now, I'm going to give you that opportunity for the non-VIP. I'm going to give you that opportunity tomorrow, okay, if we still have spaces. So if this is something that you're interested in getting access to, please make sure you're live there tomorrow, because at the end of tomorrow's session, I'm going to take a few minutes to explain what this license is, how you can apply, as well as offer you something that, as I said, my team is not very happy that I'm offering you. But real quick, to finish today's session, I want to give you some encouragement on implementing the content system yourself. First of all, this is actually super affordable to implement. Okay, it's actually really cheap to do this. My thumbnail team is super cheap, and so is my editing team. You know those fancy production teams that some people have, the massive studios, the crazy equipment? Guys, we've tested all that. We've tested everything, so that way you guys don't have to. Okay? You know what we found? For high-ticket offers, people are actually put off by overproduction. They want the value, not the fluff. Okay? Most of the videos I'm recording for my high-end stuff and for our private clients, that stuff is recorded on Loom, and then I just write all these notes in a Flozy workspace. For those of you guys that aren't aware, Flozy is one of my software companies. So I just have a workspace. I write all my notes there, so that way I have a visual anchor. And then boom, record, and that's it. By the way, my most watched video ever, the Flywheel VSL, was just a very simple slide presentation with black text on white background and just some funny emojis. That's it. This is my most viewed and my most profitable video ever. So let me break this down for you. If you want an incredible video editor, you gotta, first of all, you gotta start looking in the places in the world where you have great talent. Some places I found amazing talent consistently. South Africa, obviously I fell in love with the place personally. I had a house there for many years and spent a lot of time there. Brazil, these are certain places in the world where, listen, if you're making $1,800 a month, US dollars a month full time, you are balling out, okay? So video editor shouldn't cost you more than $1,800 a month. Thumbnail designer, $1,500 a month base, and then $50 to $100 incentive for the thumbnail that gets picked. So that's their bonus, their bounty. Basic equipment needed, your phone, posting strategy, 2 to 3 times a week when you first start. Then you can move it to once a week. And then, even now on the main channel, I think recently we uploaded a few more videos, but I was uploading like 1 a month, honestly. And instead you just focus on search-based topics. That's it. No fancy studios or massive team, just intentional content that attracts buyers. In fact, I record some of my highest converting videos literally just in the car, okay? Just on my phone. Why? Value over production quality, and in fact, value, yes, of course, but packaging. Remember packaging, like you can make the sickest video ever or the lowest quality production video ever. It's packaging, okay? Now, I will say, when you give the right value to the right people, especially, the real buyers. Buyers don't want all this stuff, okay? They don't really care about the production quality. Imagine you're hiring someone for an important position in your company. You have 2 candidates, okay? Candidate 1, candidate 2. One candidate, they show up, super fancy suit, perfect hair, rehearsed answers, but something feels off. Now, the other candidate is more casual, but they know exactly what they're talking about, and they have real solutions. Who are you going to hire? Of course, you're going to hire the candidate with the knowledge, the value, the wherewithal, the competence, okay? It's not about the way that they, try to spice things up and, put lipstick on a pig. You don't care about that. It's the same with your content, okay? Your buyers don't want fancy production. They want real solutions to their problems. Now, I have a question for you guys. Just drop a me in the chat if you've ever felt like you need to make, like, Iman Gadji style content, like super high-end production, so many cameras, blah, blah, this. Like, drop a me in the chat if you've ever had that before, if you felt that pressure. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And guys, like, I pioneered there's entire businesses that have been, there's entire multi-million-dollar businesses that have built off the back of my editing style. Okay, so I could sit here and say that is the only way to do things, blah, blah, and be super dogmatic and say, guys, it worked for me, so it's going to work for you. Just do it that way, and we'll show you how to do it. I just want to keep it real. I want to give you guys real-time feedback on what's working. And what's working real-time is your buyers don't want fancy production. They want real solutions to their problem. I hate to say it, because, we kind of just lost our moat. Like, that was actually a competitive advantage for us. But the playing field has been leveled, okay? The cool thing about this system is that you only need 1 good video to completely change the course of your business. Remember, you're always 1 video away from a consistent 8-figure-year business. I know that's a big statement, okay? But most of today's 8 and even 9-figure personal brands have had their big inflection point due to a single video. I don't know if you guys know Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon has the highest paid personal brand in the photography industry. He has a single 2-minute long video that took him from unknown to top authority in the industry. I'm telling you, 1 right video changes the course of your entire career. Or Anton Creel, he took his Institute of Trading to the top of the trading space. And listen, you guys know that industry is super competitive, okay? And he went to the top of the trading industry. And by the way, this is like, if you guys have never seen this video, you should watch it, okay? This is basically like a VSO inside of this. Obviously myself, my 8-figure brand was built on the back of a single video that I already mentioned here multiple times. And by the way, you guys can see this isn't a hack or a timely strategy because, this isn't something that works now and is going to stop working in a few months. Because 2 of the examples I gave are from over 8 years ago. This stuff worked back then, and it will keep working 10 years from now. Now, if you want more recent examples and proof that this works for any niche, take a look at some of these people. This guy is killing it in the permaculture niche. Like, some of these examples are so random, but I love it. Permaculture, okay? He got his big breakthrough with a recent video that he published. How the UN is holding back the Sahara Desert. Or, let's take a look at a totally different industry, okay? This works even if you want to completely change niches and start from scratch, exactly like Alexandra did, okay? Now, she actually used to talk about how to make money freelancing on Fiverr. But now, she's making millions of dollars a year talking about farmland. All of that was possible because of a single 5-minute video that had the right packaging and took her straight to the top of an industry in less than 2 months. How powerful is that? These examples are so random. Look at this. We have an ex-MIT neurosurgeon who decided to quit everything he was doing, moved to the mountains, and started talking about how to heal your body with alternative medicine. And listen, although he doesn't sell info products right now, at least, I think he definitely should do, he's still making millions of dollars from his content from AdSense. And probably if he started monetizing with info products, maybe even tens of millions, okay? All because of a single video he posted. Now, what do all these people have in common? They all had one single video where they hit the nail on the head with their packaging. And that was enough to create a 7-figure personal brand for each one of them. 7 figures, 8 figures, and some of them even 9-figure. They found their gold mines, okay? So don't feel discouraged that you have to get it right the first time you publish content. You're probably not going to get it right the first time, and that's fine, okay? Because you only need to get it right once. That's it. Once you find gold once, the gold will always be there. And that's going to be the gold mine that makes you rich, your kids rich, your kids' kids' kids rich, your kids' 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 kids rich. So you just got to get started. You owe it to them. So here's what you're going to focus on in the next 12 weeks to actually get this implemented. You see, when you go to a doctor starts off by diagnosing a patient, right? Do they start off with surgery? Well, I would hope not. Okay? They start with simple tests first, and that's what we're going to do as well. Month 1, we're going to build a base, we're going to test topics, and we're going to track results. Month 2, we're going to expand the base, we're going to find gold veins, we're going to start monitoring. And then month 4 to 6, we're going to create VSL systems, build the team out. Now remember what I said earlier. Your first focus should be on creating your base of videos. These are your first 15 to 30 videos. That is your North Star. So month 1, you want to build the base. You want to publish your first batch of videos. You want to test and track the results. Month 2 to 3, you expand the base. You find gold veins. You start monetizing. Month 4 to 6, you create that flywheel VSL. You add systems. You build out your team. And at the end of the 6 months, you should have a machine that runs itself. Now, before I give you the assignment for today, I want to finish off with one final analogy, okay? Imagine there are 2 farmers, okay, and they're standing on empty fields. And they have these empty fields, they have this opportunity in front of them, and they can approach it in 2 very different ways. And they decide to approach it in 2 very different ways, okay? So the first farmer decides to plant crops that grow quickly, okay? He's thinking short term. So within weeks, he's harvesting them, he's selling at the market. The yield is immediate and impressive. But this model also comes with a downside. He is constantly needing to buy new seeds at an increasingly higher price. His soil quality deteriorates with each planting, okay? And that requires even more fertilizer. And every single harvest requires his personal time and attention. And then farmer 2 decides to plant fruit trees instead. Now, sure, for the first 3 to 6 months, there's not that much to harvest while the trees actually establish their roots. But once those trees begin bearing fruit, something interesting happens. Each season, those same trees produce more fruit than the last, okay? This thing becomes its own self-sustaining operation. And most importantly, each new tree planted doesn't just yield its own fruit, it strengthens the entire ecosystem, attracting more birds, attracting more wildlife, that then plants even more seeds naturally. Now, after 5 years, farmer 1 is working harder than ever, spending more on seeds and fertilizer, and making less profit despite growing his revenue and investment significantly. Farmer 2, on the other hand, owns a thriving orchard that produces a lot of fruit with minimal effort. His harvest grows larger every single year while requiring less of his personal time. He's free to expand into new ventures while his orchard continues producing wealth on autopilot. If you were to pick between farmer 1 and 2, which one would you choose? 1 or 2? You tell me. I would hope so. I would hope so because, listen, you guys are very fucking smart. I hope you guys give yourself credit. You guys are very, very, very smart. And you guys are long-term thinkers. So you understand that, yeah, okay, maybe in the next couple weeks, this doesn't bring me immediate results. But you guys are trying to build an empire here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to build an empire. And in order to build an empire, we need to have solid foundation. So as you guys said, second farmer. That's really the analogy between an ad funnel versus a flywheel VSL. Okay, that's the fundamental difference between building an ad funnel versus a flywheel content system. An ad funnel brings quick, immediate results, but demands consistent feeding and attention while delivering diminishing returns as time has gone on. I'm curious, for those of you guys who have run ads for a few years now, are you guys starting to see diminishing returns? Let me know in the chat. It's interesting. I ran, yes. Within months, yes. Yeah, it's tough. When you're running ads for years and years, you start to see these things. Okay? I'm getting a lot of yeses. It's tough. These ad funnels, yes, sure, they do bring in immediate results, but it diminishes over time. Whereas your content system, yeah, sure, it requires some patience up front, but it creates a self-sustaining, ever-growing asset that continues working for you long after you've moved onto other projects. So the question isn't whether you can afford to wait 3 to 6 months for this system to flourish. The question is whether you can afford not to plant these trees at all. For how long? For how long can you afford to keep running the same model? Knowing, by the way, your costs will only increase. Your conversions will likely keep going down. The market will keep getting more competitive, and your margins will keep getting thinner and thinner. That's a question only you can answer. Now, before I give you the assignment, let me ask you something. When building a house, what's the first thing you do? What do you guys do at first? What's the first thing you do when you build a house? Number one, first step, foundation. Foundation, correct. Plan, design, I guess when you actually start constructing the house, that's what I mean. Yeah, you build a strong foundation. You lay the foundations, right? Your content system is that foundation. Now tomorrow, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a team and a system that actually scales this into a full-blown empire, but first you need the foundation. So here's your assignment for today. I want you to do some topic research. I want you to list your ideal customers' top 3 problems. I want you to find out what they're actually searching for, map out 5 potential video topics, focus on buyer intent, not entertainment, and then do a channel audit. I want you to look at your current content. Judge if you're covering the right current topics, okay? I want you to evaluate your video's packaging as well as look at the CPMs. I guarantee a lot of you guys probably haven't actually looked at the CPMs. Go look at what your CPM is. Then the direct response plan. I want you to write your clear next step. Create your natural transition. Map your call to action and focus on solving specific problems. Now, just a heads up, for those of you guys who are in VIP, tomorrow morning we're actually going to dive deeper into this, into content planning. So there, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys may have about it. Now, as I said, for those in VIP, we're actually going to go through all this. Okay, so we'll go through all this in the hour before the general session. Don't worry about that. You guys will get real-time feedback, and we'll go over all this. Now, in tomorrow's day 4 session, just so you guys are prepared, this is where we're going to be covering content planning, systems and SOPs, team building, and scaling strategy. Now, I think one thing I kind of left out there is empire building. I actually told the VIPs this, but fuck it, I guess I might as well tell you guys this as well. I got a call about 6 hours ago from a company I invested in 4 or 5 months ago. I took a very large stake pre-seed round. I got a call. By the way, I haven't talked to this company in a few months now. I got a call. Hey, yeah, what's up? Yeah, just wanted to fill you in. We are actually one of 5 official partners with OpenAI. I'm not going to reveal the name because the founder asked me not to. We have probably one of the most famous billionaires in the world right now who's just invested. And I was like, okay, cool. What valuation did you invest at? Told me the number. I have about 15x my investment. Why do I tell you this? I couldn't have done that 3-4 years ago. It's not even about building a personal brand. And by the way, for those of you guys who are wondering what that is, I'll reveal it. One of the things I'm doing this year is I'm actually revealing what do I actually do in my time. I'm in empire building mode and empire building stage. Really the past couple of years, I just don't talk about it publicly. So this year, I'm revealing one of the companies that I'm either a co-owner in, an investor in, have a very large stake in. So that company, the founder is actually flying to Dubai just for a catch-up. So I'll reveal that all next week. But the reason I bring that up is because I can only focus on these empire building plays because I have all these systems, because I have all these back-end processes, okay? Because my team runs this stuff for me. So that is what we're going to install into your business. And then once we install that into your business, you can either sip pina coladas and enjoy your life, and that's totally cool too. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't ever let anyone tell you that, like, yeah, you make millions of dollars a year and you get to chill out. It's a fucking amazing life. Or you can then focus on your empire plays, okay? But in order to focus on these empire plays, you first have to actually set the foundations, just like we talked about. Now, if you guys are curious how to actually upgrade, if you actually want to be a part of those VIP discussions, the open Q&A, and the real-time feedback, I'm actually going to get my team. They'll go ahead and drop it, the upgrade link. So our team will drop the upgrade link live in the chat. So you can find it right there. Those of you guys who want to be a part of the conversation. And there you go. There we have it. Now, remember what I told you at the beginning? You don't need tons of followers. You don't need a massive production team. What we're trying to do here is set up the right strategy and target the right people. By the way, when I talk about, for example, some of these deals, I don't get these deals because I have a massive audience. Like, for example, this software is super B2B. It's super B2B, okay? So this software, for example, that is really more of the reason I get these sort of deals, by the way, a crazy discounted equity, is because of my micro niche personal channel, all right? The business channel. Like the main YouTube, these aren't customers for this software. So all you want to do is you want to become a leader in your space, okay? And you just need to target the right people. You need the right strategy to target the right people, okay? I would much rather have 15,000 buyers than 150,000 viewers any day of the week. And after tonight's homework, you know exactly how to attract those buyers. So with all that being said, I want you guys to get your assignment done. I want you to post your key takeaways in the Facebook group. I'm going to be commenting on some of them personally. And tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to actually take all this, literally just steal all of our systems, and then from there, build an empire around this strong foundation. But remember, that only works if you complete the assignments, because what we're doing right now is we're laying the foundation, so that way you guys can fucking take this and scale 10, 100, 1,000x from here. So I appreciate you guys all joining. Really enjoyed it. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. And as always, watching from afar, rooting for you guys.